Hi, this is Brittany Tempe, and today I'm going to discuss a lesson I designed for independent reading discussions using VoiceThread. I sat down and talked to one of my former coworkers, Mrs. Tyre, about a challenge she has in the classroom, and one of the first things she came up with was independent reading. Her pre-AP and AP students have the opportunity to choose an independent reading book, usually from a list of 3 to 5 books, and to do a literature circle or book discussion with that. It's wonderful for students, especially offering them that choice, but it's hard to monitor who's reading, how well are they reading, how do I assess that reading when you have students reading lots of different books all in one class. So she asked me to do some research to figure out how to help her out with independent reading for 10th and 11th grade students. I decided that VoiceThread would be a great technology tool to use for independent reading for high school English students. And just as a reminder, VoiceThread is a tool that allows students and teachers to collaborate, create, comment, and reflect on digital content by recording their voices in a shared online presentation. VoiceThread actually has a blog post for teachers looking to use VoiceThread for book discussions, and I copied and pasted the instructions here and gave credit through the link below. But you'll find that VoiceThread encourages you to focus on a passage, go through the passage noting the vocabulary and context issues the students may find confusing. So basically pre-read the passage. Add images that can help students decode that passage, especially a challenging passage for analysis. Create slides. One of the easiest ways I found to do this is to create those slides ahead of time in Google Slides. Then upload those slides to VoiceThread along with your images, and then record your instructions. So you can record your own voice asking your students questions or asking them to make certain types of contributions. And then you have the option of using content moderation so that you would have to approve each comment. That can be tedious, but sometimes it's worth it to weed out inappropriate or irrelevant comments. Okay, to use VoiceThread for independent reading book discussions, there's some preparation that has to happen. The good news is, even though it's a little heavy in preparation, this could be used year after year. So the teacher will create a VoiceThread populated with questions for each independent reading text. So that's probably 3 to 5 voice threads, one for each book that you offer students as a choice. And then, of course, you have to give students some context or background on VoiceThread so they know how to use it. I would use a sample like this one here. This one's about the Scarlet Letter to show students what it looks like when students use a VoiceThread to discuss a book. And then, of course, the teacher needs to review expectations, reading discussions, digital citizenship, and how will students be assessed before they ever begin so they feel adequately prepared for the task at hand. Here's what students will need to do. After they've been prepped, after they've done their reading, after they know about VoiceThread, they are going to want to contribute using the record button to the VoiceThread by answering teacher questions, posing new questions, answering peer questions, providing analysis, quoting from the book when it's helpful, providing feedback on peer contributions, and adding images or helpful media. To do this and to create a really nice multi-layered complex discussion, students will need time in class to revisit the VoiceThread and see what's new and see what else they want to add. And it's really important, I want to add, to give class time because not every student will have internet access at home, though many will. Before we get to the reflection piece, students should re-look at the VoiceThread for their book and re-watch, re-listen to the entire thing so they can reflect well. Here you see the Common Core standards, reading and speaking and listening. I included 10th and 11th grade because Mrs. Tyre teaches both of those grade levels, and then also the NET standard for being a creative communicator. This type of discussion hits many more of the Common Core standards than I have here, but here are some main ones, and then this creative communicator allows them to use VoiceThread as a platform to discuss digital media, in this case, referring to their independent reading book. Okay, assessment's going to come in two pieces, student assessment and teacher assessment. Here, I've included the student self-reflection, this literature circle handout that's been adapted from the book Literature Circle's resource guide. And then students will also, in addition to filling this out and turning it in, they will record feedback for their peers directly in the VoiceThread. Teachers will also provide assessment and feedback for students using this rubric that I created on Rubistar. It has assessment of content, of discussion, and of collaboration. And then teacher will also provide some feedback on that reflection sheet you saw on the last slide, and then through VoiceThread comments. So students are getting a variety of feedback in multiple formats from the teacher. And then finally, I just wanted to review the benefits of using VoiceThread for book discussions, because I think it's a really wonderful technology tool for this particular challenge in classrooms, especially if the classroom is one-to-one. So the discussion that you can have in VoiceThread is multi-layered and can take place across time and space instead of just a one class period where students may forget. Students can take time to prepare what they want to say, and they can use their books, they can use other resources, they can do research, and this can be comforting to students who struggle to speak in public. The discussion can be accessed anywhere that students have internet access, so absent students can contribute and benefit. They don't just miss the whole discussion like they might in a traditional discussion. And then students and teachers can contribute, discuss, and provide feedback in a collaborative digital space, which is a really neat change from the traditional chairs and circle model. And then to make it an even more multi-layered, deeper conversation, students can add text, voice, and then other forms of media via links. And then finally, the entire discussion can be revisited at any time since it is recorded. So these are some of the reasons I think VoiceThread's a wonderful solution for Mrs. Tyer's challenge in the classroom, for independent reading discussions, and for anyone who does literature circles or book clubs in the classroom.